Turn this music down. I can't hear myself think. We lost connection. That's a tree. That's a tree I just ran into. Once again, I can't overstate how good it feels to feel like this. It's hard to put into words. And that's the reason why so many people get spiritual about this shit and get really over the top and overzealous about it. I'm feeling a love and appreciation for life that's hard to put into words right now. It's hard to put into words. Man, I don't even think I'm gonna try. But it's there. It's definitely there. Love, that's it. Love. And just happy to be here. And I'd be feeling this if I was still sleeping in the parking lot. Swear to God. It's indiscriminate. It is indiscriminate. I'd be feeling this basically no matter where I was. Even if I was severely fucked up, just got ran over by a tank or something, this would still be there in the air. I'll be a little harder to appreciate, but it would still be there. It's everywhere. And it's in the way the light reflects off of the ground. It's in the raindrops falling on my face. It's in the stillness of every parked vehicle I pass. It's in every detail I see in the environment. It's everywhere. This is what it's like on the other side of the dark valley. If you could feel what I'm feeling, you would understand. You would understand. This is glory. True glory. You just gotta try it for yourself. If you have resistance to the idea of abstinence in your heart, then I can't force it on you. No one can force it on you. That's actually kind of the beautiful thing about it, is that if somebody forced it on you, you wouldn't even be able to appreciate it quite as much. You'd probably still notice it. You'd almost definitely still notice it, but it's only through your own will and your own volition that you really get the full benefit of it. The same way, again, we go back to the religious connections. The same way they say you have to let Jesus into your heart and accept God as your Lord and Savior or whatever. It's the same exact concept, except for me it's just the truth of what sexual abstinence does to your brain and your body. And it is so glorious that it does not surprise me whatsoever. People would just immediately skip right past the science and just start talking about God and Jesus and shit, because you just have to try to imagine. This is how glorious this is, this feeling. As if I'm carrying the sacred torch inside of me, and it lights up everywhere I go, lights up the entire environment. And I was so small before, and I didn't have that much love to give. Or I did, but I didn't have the strength to give it. I used to look at people who were really lovey-dovey, and it would make me cringe. And when I tell you I used to be the opposite of what I am right now, you gotta believe me. I used to look at people who were giving too much love, and I would cringe and think of how pathetic they were. And I would judge everybody. I was the world's harshest critic. Even though I had so many of my own flaws, every person I saw, I would judge them and find the chink in their armor, find a way to put myself above them. And it's so awful to live that way. And one of the things that's hard to debate is this boundless ability to love that it gives you. I feel as if I could just post a comment on every single post I see now. Tell somebody how beautiful they are. Give somebody a really great, sincere compliment. Every single person I see, if I really tried, you know? Except maybe strangers passing on the road or whatever, that'd be a little bit awkward. Maybe I could see myself even getting to that point where I feel comfortable complimenting every single human being I see. But right now I feel all the people within my sphere, all the people that I love, I feel as if I have the energy to give love to them continuously. Every time I see them, give them a compliment or support in some way. And before, it felt cringe to do that, right? It felt cringe. It felt like, man, you know, like you're being suffocating, you're being smothering or whatever. But I think that was only projection, you know? That was me projecting, like, if somebody was acting like this towards you, you would think they were cringe and think they were smothering you. But now I don't really feel that way, I guess. It no longer feels cringy to give boundless love to everybody I love. And I also have more energy to give it. And so this would be so beneficial to a lot of people who work 9-to-5 jobs and stuff, and you don't have as much time as you would like and as much energy as you would like to give to your children. This will give you nearly limitless amount of energy and love to give. This is going to give you the energy to work a fucking 10-hour shift or an 8-hour shift and come home and be a super dad or a super mom for your children. And I know most people simply don't have the energy to give their kids all the attention that they really need, because that's how I grew up. I wanted so much more attention from my parents. I wanted all the attention. But when you're always in a state of regeneration and you're never in a state of where you feel like your cup is full, you feel like it's always regenerating and you're constantly emptying it out and having to regenerate it, you just simply don't have that as much energy to give. And you think you see people who do, and you think like that they're like church nerds, or that they're cringy, that they're doing too much. Until you get to this point and you realize that this is how everybody should be. Everybody should be. We all have the capability, we all have the potential to feel like this. Almost everybody has the potential to feel like this. And if we were all to realize that potential at the same time, I think so much of this world's ills would just melt away like a witch in the sunlight. And I don't know, I'm starting to see allusions to it, and like almost every song I hear and a lot of the content, plots, like plot lines and stuff, it's now really easy for me to find a way to connect it to this. The idea of somehow tapping into a greater glory and a greater power. And it's directly related to the physical aspect of your body. There's a certain amount of, you can get yourself maybe like 15 to 20%, might be pushing it. You can get yourself that far with just a mental commitment. But when you don't have the resources, it's a lot harder, you know? When you don't have the physical, whatever it is, the nutrients, the vitamins, whatever it is that's in your fluid, it's a lot more of a struggle. And this makes it so much easier on yourself. So much easier. But I'm not here to tell you what to do or how well you're living your life. Only you know. Only you know. Only you know how often you have depressive, dark moments. Only you know what amount of suffering exists in your own life. And it's just always going to be up to you to honestly self-assess your own life and see, like, do I have moments of boredom or desperation or neediness or selfishness? Because I don't feel any of those things anymore, ever. I don't feel those things ever anymore. Not for a single second throughout any day anymore. Since I've come up out of that major flatline, and then I had those two close misses that kind of lowered me back down a little bit, and then I've had like 24 hours plus to recover from then, and now I just feel decent 24/7. Not a moment of negativity ever, period. It's astonishing for a guy who I was forged in darkness like Bane. To feel this is, well, it's no surprise it's what I'm all about now. And it's just so obvious to me that if I feel like this because of what I've been doing, then it makes so much sense that other people would be feeling the opposite if they're doing the opposite of me. If they're habitually expelling their precious resources, their precious fluid. It only makes perfect sense that you'd feel the exact opposite of this. You'd have moments of negativity and suffering, even if you feel like you're a master at defeating them, you know, and you feel depressed, so you go outside and you go for a run and you get a runner's high, or you meditate your way out of some negativity. It's still there, and that's not a human being's natural state. We're not born to fight a battle against negativity and suffering our whole lives and constantly beat it back like it's a horde of zombies at our front door. Wouldn't you rather the zombies just disappear forever? And like, negative events can still happen, and they could still make me feel sad or maybe even frustrated for a brief moment. But my reactions are, my negative reactions to things have a much shorter half-life now. They're here and then they're gone instantly. And there's absolutely zero self-generated negativity within me anymore. It's just perfect. I'm living a perfect life right now. I could not ask for anything better. And it has nothing to do with clout. It has nothing to do with my financial well-being. It has nothing to do with anything I might own. It certainly has nothing to do with my social circle, because I don't have one. All I have is my family, who we almost, very little interaction. It has nothing to do with any of that. Only thing it has to do with is the fact that I stopped having orgasms, and tried to stop thinking as sexually. Even it's not like sexual thoughts don't make me feel negative on their own, but it's if they eventually lead to orgasm, is when it drains your brain and really sends you spiraling. So that's the only reason you have to avoid them. That's the only reason you would try to avoid them. I don't see sexuality or sensuality or dancing or being cute or trying to be attractive for people. I don't see any of those things as bad. The only thing I see as bad now is the actual orgasm itself, because of what it physically does to your brain and your body. And this is where me and some of the really hardcore monk-headed people, I think, would disagree, because C.J. Van Vliet says that you can only become perfectly chaste if you erase all sensuality from your life completely, and all recognition of sex differences whatsoever. You erase anything having to do with sexiness, period. I don't see it like that. I think you can keep those things in your life as much as you can maintain without busting off, expelling your precious fluid, as much as you can handle. And that's how I plan to live my life, is to incorporate as much of that, as much of the spice of life into my life as I can handle, without it leading me to trying to reach out and grasp a moment of infinite bliss and grab it and possess it. I plan to have my cake and eat it too, like I always have from the very beginning. I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too. And this is the way, I'm telling you, this is the way. Everything is great now. I don't feel as if I'm lacking anything. Before, when I had the opposite mentality of man, all I need is a girl And if I just got a good girlfriend, like a really hot girlfriend who I was banging on the regular, then all of my problems would disappear. Before, I was feeling a sense of desperation inside me, as if I needed things to make me happy. Situations, places, people. Once I had those pieces in place, then I would finally feel as if I was in heaven or living the perfect life. But I feel like that right now, and I don't have any of those things. I feel like that right now, as if I'm living the perfect life, and I don't have any of those things. But I still want those things. Because, well, I guess you could say that's where a little bit of the boredom only exists in my life now as an idea of like, okay, I'm living a perfect life, but what else is there? Because I'm not just a spirit floating around. I still am in an animal body. So what else is there? Now that I'm living the perfect life and I don't really have insatiable desire for anything anymore. I don't feel suffering really anymore. What else is there to do? Well, play the game of life. Play the game of life and try to succeed at it as best as I can. But my thing is, I don't just want to beat the game and shut it off. Maybe I would if I knew everybody else felt the same way and was living in the same state of perfect contentment. I wouldn't feel a need to affect change in this world. But I know that's not the case, because I know almost nothing negative you've ever heard about is natural. They say babies aren't born with hate in their heart, right? So why does it make sense that it would be natural for an adult to have hate in his heart? Or for negative things to happen, for human beings to feel negativity and to do negative things to each other? None of that is natural. None of it has ever been natural, ever throughout the course of time. We're more than that. We're so much more than that. We are an angelic race of people. And more than any fancy car or any mansion in the hills, I want everybody to feel this, what I'm feeling right now, and I want the world's problems to disappear. And it's just so obvious to me now that this is the way to make them disappear. It's not a pipe dream. It's not. The only way for you to know that truth is for you to experience it yourself. And you'll know what I'm talking about. Once you feel it for yourself, you'll know. We should all be feeling like this. We should all be joining hands, dancing and laughing every day and every night. Negativity is unnatural. We all have the power to eliminate negativity in our lives. And it's just so easy. It's almost too easy. It's almost too easy. It feels like I'm playing life on easy mode now. You know, it's almost too easy. But it's infinitely better than dealing with negativity and problems. Because I still have the same I still have not just the same capability to achieve and pursue and accomplish. I've got that capability times 100 now. And that's not an exaggeration. This is what it feels like to really feel like the world is your oyster and you can go out in this world and do anything and accomplish anything you want. This is what it feels like right here. And it's everlasting. It never goes away. it never disappears. I feel like this 24/7, every moment of every day now. This is real. You can have this too. You should have this. This is yours. This is yours. This belongs to you. And you should not let anyone convince you to fall away from this. Because there's nothing greater. You can have it all. It doesn't need to be a struggle.